In this video, we're going to look at the Averageif formula and specifically work towards using an array in order to do some more in-depth averaging. When you look at the Averageif formula, I've got over here on the right the Averageif formula. So it's an average range of data based on a set of criteria. So what I've got here is some ACT practice scores and then gender and race, just to kind of give you an idea of what we can filter down to. So the first thing we want to do is want to average all numbers greater than 18. Just see what the average is on just scores that were higher than that. To do that, what we'll do is we'll come over here and we'll say equals Averageif. Then our range is, of course, that's going to be our score. So that's A2 to A25. So that's our range. And then what we want to know is greater than 18. And we're going to put that in quotations to make sure because of the greater than symbol. And that tells us that it's 22.1. So if we just pulled all the scores out of here that are greater than an 18 under score, then that would give us a 22.1. Now we can also average based on criteria in a range. So on this one, what we're going to do is we're going to say equals Averageif. And so now we want to know just the scores of our female students. So the first thing we're going to do with our range is we're going to choose B2 to B25. So we're going to take column B. And we want to single out female students. So that's our criteria. And then the thing is next is we're going to say, what are we looking for? So we're going to take female students and we're going to average them and see what their scores are. And just female students is a 19.8. Okay, so if we want to take it to a second step, we can also do by race. So in this case, we'll say equals Averageif. So now we'll do column C. So we'll say C2, C25. So we're going to look at our black students. And then we'll say our range again. So 21. Now where it gets complicated is if we want to know the scores of black female students in this case. So if we use our normal formula, which I'll do here to show you what's going to happen. So if we just say Averageif, and then let's just say B2 to B25, we want to see females. And then we take it the next step and we say C2 to C25. And choose B. And then A2 to A25. You'll notice we get an error. It says you've entered too many arguments for this function. And that's because Averageif won't work with two ranges, this multiple criteria. So we have to use an array formula. So this is what we're going to do here. And you'll notice I've got over here, we need a special array formula. I've got the array here that we're going to type in. So we're going to say equals average. Then we'll do parentheses if, and then a second parentheses. And now we're going to say B2 to B25 equals F for gender. So if B2 to B25 equals F for female, and if C2 to C25 equals B for our black students, so now we're wanting to see just black female students, then A2 to A25. Three closed parentheses because we had three open parentheses. Now the key here is to hit Control, Shift, plus Enter at the same time to finish the formula. And there you'll see it gives us the number 23. So when we go down through here, we're saying that the average of all numbers is greater than 18. It's 22.1. Females alone were 19.8. Black students were 21.0. And then for black females, they were 23. So this allows us to go in and start to gather averages, particularly when we're looking at subscores, if we're looking at different groups and trying to find out what scores they had. And we can do this for any number of categories. We could add, if we want a gender race, we could add a third category of some sort. We can just continue to expand this array formula out and continue to get our average if and average only those scores. And this works fantastic, of course, when you're dealing with 400 to 500 rows of data. So that's how you use that array formula.